Is Demonologist worth its $15 price tag? Demonologist has been out for some time now, and I think it's fair to decide whether or not the game is worth the buy. And while I will go through what the game excels and lacks in, I also know that this game is also dependent on you and your preferences. So let me go through my honest review of the game and let you decide whether the game is worth it or not. First thing you should know about this game is it's obviously very similar to Phasmophobia, with the concept of the game being traveling to an abandoned location haunted by an unknown entity. And then either solo or with your Ghostbuster squad, you will track down the ghost's favorite room and obtain evidence using your investigation tools. Once you obtain enough evidence, you will be able to figure out the entity you are dealing with. But be careful, as your sanity will go down the longer you're in the ghost's home. And bad things will happen when your sanity goes down. Once you figure out the type of ghost, you will now have to perform 3 different challenges. And then once those are completed, you will be able to exorcise the ghost. Once the exorcism is complete, you have essentially beat that trial. So one of the main features of this game is its loud and spontaneous jump scares. The jump scares in this game are some of the worst I've ever encountered in any horror game, but what I find scary may not be scary to you, but I also feel it's dependent on how you go into this game. If you go into this game with some kind of alpha mentality and just feel the concept of being scared by a game is dumb, you probably won't be scared and will just find everything to be stupid. You kind of have to play into it yourself, which is a little easier to do with friends, so try to get some friends on this as well. What I will say is, although the game is very terrifying, the jump scares appear to be scripted. So once you've seen the jump scares a few times, it may become a bit repetitive. For me, everything still seems very random, but it's been reported by many people that after about 15 hours of gameplay, the jump scares just don't hit the same. I haven't hit that point in this game personally and still shit myself every round I play, so for me this game is still one of the scariest games I've ever played. Like, I've played the first map like over 20 times and I still get super scared in that map every single time, but I have seen a handful of people complain about the same thing about the game getting repetitive. But for me, if you're playing this game at 3 AM by yourself with the lights off, which I do not recommend, it is probably one of the scariest horror experiences you can get from any game. If you're someone who enjoys horror movie jump scares or going through those haunted house mazes in real life because of the adrenaline you get from the scares, then it's safe to say you will likely enjoy this game. If you do plan on getting the game, I highly recommend not spoiling the game for yourself by watching every single gameplay video out there. If you want an example of what to expect, then yeah, watch a couple, but try to save some of the scares and the experience for the first time in the game. The anticipation of not knowing what's going to happen next is a huge part of the experience with horror games. Also, there's a lot of hidden secrets, such as hidden rooms and Easter eggs you can discover in Demonologist that adds for much more content on each map. And if you already know about all these before you even step foot in the game, then it kind of just ruins the investigation aspect. Another issue with this game is the equipment which is used to detect the ghosts. Some are pretty straightforward, like the EMF detector, while others are just a pain to try to use. Sometimes the ghost is also just being really hard-headed and not giving you the evidence you need. I think these issues will be fixed as more patches come out, but it is definitely something to expect going into this game. I can't really tell if it's all intentional design so that you're just not speedrunning through each time and figuring out the ghost immediately, but sometimes it's a bit excessive and seems bugged as opposed to just difficult. There's more to the game that sort of just seems incomplete, like some of the ghosts don't even have data to help you make an educated guess as to what the ghost is, which something like this would be fine for a game that's in early access, but since it's full release, it's a bit concerning. But once again, I believe that all will be fixed with time since this game is still fairly new. Now let me be clear, the game does run great and it does a great job at scaring the ever-living shit out of you. It's just little things that seem to need some work. My main thing going into this game was to be scared, and it's doing a great job at that. So if that's also your objective and jump scares give you the adrenaline rush you're looking for, I definitely think you will find this game worth its $15. But I think the best thing you can do is wait. To be safe, you should wait until the game becomes a little bit more polished. If all these cons scare you and you worry you will only play through this game once and never touch it again, just wait and see what the developers do. Let's see what they do with future updates and that they also add more content to the game, because there is a chance that the game is just completely abandoned by the developers and stays in this unfinished state. So if you want to buy it and are willing to wait, make sure to add it to your Steam wishlist so that you're notified next time it's on sale. Then once it goes on sale, you can check to see if they've added some content or even just fix the game a bit, and also buy it at a lower cost. Overall, the reviews for this game are very positive, but some say it's too cheesy and the bugs ruin the experience. I try to focus heavily on the negatives on this video, but overall the game is actually really great. It seems although the people who do complain about this game wouldn't like many horror things that rely on jump scares and prefer the more psychological horror games. If you feel that applies to you and you're one of those people that doesn't react much to the horror mazes, or you don't really fall for the jumps in movies, then this game probably isn't for you. If you haven't played Phasmophobia and you're wondering if you should check out that game instead, I made a comparison video here which you could click on right now. Also, here's some gameplay videos if you want to get a taste of the game. But remember, don't spoil too much, and until next time, love ya, see ya.